Hello everyone, I am here to react to CHAEYOUNG's official solo debut album, LIL FANTASY Volume 1. Just finished watching the title track, Shoot Firecracker, which was amazing. I love the vibes of LIL Fantasy, or Wonderland as you might call it. Just the songs for Avocado and Shoot and the videos were both like absolutely amazing, perfect, exactly my style. So I'm very excited to get into the album and hear if it continues with that vibe through the whole thing, if the songs maybe have any indication to like learning more about the world of LIL Fantasy. I'm just excited to hear more of her voice, and if there's a little bit of rapping incorporated into some of the songs, that would be very cool too, because she's an amazing singer and rapper, of course. Yeah, in case you missed it, TWICE was the group that got me into K-pop, and I've been going back and listening to all of their albums that I haven't since I started to lose interest in them for a while. Now I'm back listening to all the ones I missed, and they're great, and I'm excited to see a brand new TWICE related album for the first time in a long time, seeing it when it's released. Make sure to check out all those videos if you haven't already. Subscribe to see all of those, plus, you know, more reactions to all of their solo releases as well. And if you could like and comment suggestions for other TWICE reactions or other reactions you want to see, I would appreciate it. And let's get into the first song, which is Band-Aid. Got lyric videos from the channel Shadow by Yoongi, so check those out. It's definitely a solid sound through this entire album that is very much my style. I'm trying to think of other stuff that I've heard that's like it, but I just can't. It's all so delicate. Like, I feel like I'm being lulled to sleep, and then to lulled to sleep to wake up in a different world, I guess. It's like the two TWICE albums that I've done reactions to on my channel just recently, Eyes Wide Open and Taste of Love. Like, both of those also had a kind of like low, like not nearly as energetic as earlier TWICE releases. They've had those vibes through the whole album, and now this does too, but I definitely like this kind of vibe even more. Like, it's so soft, but like dreamy too, and like Taste of Love and Eyes Wide Open didn't have that dreaminess to it. Yeah, like, I just love dreamy songs, dreamy worlds in videos. Like, this is all just, I feel like if I had to make an album, I would do a thing just like this. Like, dreams themselves, just actual dreams you have when you sleep, are like my favorite thing ever in the whole world. So whenever you can like emulate that in real life through media, it's just, there's nothing I love more. I feel like all the songs, Avocado, Shoot, and this have also had such a similar vibe that's like hard for me to distinguish them in my mind, honestly. Like, they all feel just fully perfect, and like I just go somewhere else when I'm listening to them, so it's like harder to evaluate them separately almost. Like, this was so like subtle and almost one note in a way, not in a bad way at all, but just fully felt like a dream floating through clouds. So it's like, and with it being so short too, like under 2.5 minutes, and I think a lot of the songs on this album are super short, it's like it's really hard to come up with a rating, because it's like, yeah, I was, you know, in heaven throughout the whole song, but it's like it doesn't feel as full as some other great songs. Like it feels just as great when I'm listening to it, but it's like it doesn't feel as complex and like stimulating and interesting, but it still is just as, if not better, to listen to than like most other songs. So it's hard to say an initial rating, but I think if I had to, it's gotta be like 92, 91, 92. I'd say 92. I already feel like I gave Shoot too low of a rating. I feel like that was probably better than this, but I gave that like a 90, I think. So already reflecting on that, I feel like it should have been more. Yeah, can't wait for the rest of the songs, because like I feel like they're all gonna have this vibe, but like which ones are gonna have something a little extra? I don't know. How do you shake all of them up? Or if it's just all slight differences that make you feel like you're just going through slight changes in this dream world journey. And with a lot of the songs being really short too, if you have a really short song, you'd think you want it to like stick out a lot, so it's not just a segue from one song like it to another song like it. You'd think you'd want it to be like stand out and unique, but it doesn't feel like this album is going to be that way. But I don't know what to expect, and I never like shorter songs typically, but I feel like with really artistic stuff like this, it can be used as a like interesting story to make like the whole album one complete thing, and not as much focusing on the individual songs as making them full experiences, like connecting them all to make one big experience. Either way, excited for the next one, so let's get into it. So this is Girl. This one's a little longer than Band-Aid, and if we're thinking of the whole album as kind of a story, this comes after Shoot. So with Shoot, I feel like it was similar to Band-Aid and Avocado, but it kind of added a bit more energy to it. So see if this kind of sticks with that, keeping the energy up a little bit. See if the sound kind of evolves over the album or what. It's the same kind of like bass in the background, but not as energetic as it was in Shoot. Which typically you would expect the title track to have the most energy, so that would make sense. I'm just wondering how this album is gonna like play from start to finish. I'm excited to get into the other TWICE solo albums just to see if any of them could match. Like obviously Naya and Jiho, like main vocalists, but can they be as pleasant for my personal taste of voices as this? Because it's just perfect. Suck at like paying attention to the sound of songs and lyrics at the same time. So I feel like I need to quickly like read through them again afterwards to see if there's more to say about that. Feels like there's definitely a story to this song. It's hard to pay attention to reading when I'm just like about to transport to another world just through the sound. I feel like I haven't felt this type of vibe in a K-pop album. Not like this type of vibe, but something like this in a K-pop album other than from BB. Like I feel like BB has really artistic albums like this. And like definitely a different kind of vibe, but like her last album, Eve Romance, I feel like there's like slight similarities, especially with the title track to some of this, but overall it's very different. But like they both have the artisticness and a lot of shorter songs too that feel like they're really just more art pieces and just kind of cut off once they've made their point and not trying to make a full song experience like you would typically do. Yeah, real quick before initial rating, I just want to look through the lyrics again. Yeah, definitely not a lot of lyrics, but the ones there are interesting. There's like just a few different actual lines, but I'm guessing it's kind of a message to herself. That's all I could guess it is. It's okay if you come closer, little girl. I could be the one. You could be the one who's the one. Don't be afraid. Heaven only knows, save me. Forever we could be a secret. Tired of pretending like nothing's wrong. Why are you being dragged around everywhere, girl? Aren't you afraid? Under the sky, I put my hands together, then I can find my cutty wings. I looked up what cutty wings means. I don't know what that means. I don't think that's a word that exists. But yeah, not very clear lyrics, but what I would imagine would be like a message to a young version of herself or something. That's all I'd imagine it could be. Just telling the young version of herself that she doesn't have to be afraid and she can just find her wings, I guess. Maybe it's supposed to be cutie. It might have just been a subtitle error there. Cutie wings makes more sense. Reminds me of cutie marks or in My Little Pony, like something they get when they're older. I don't remember exactly how that worked. Kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, that type of message, just like telling a young version of herself that she doesn't have to worry, I guess. She can find her way in the world. This one definitely, again, feels like it's going to be kind of hard to say different stuff about each song just because they all have such a similar vibe. And like what I typically am looking for in an album is, you know, lots of different types of songs, but it's like this album kind of all feels like one journey, and I'm definitely not complaining about that. Definitely feels like one ride, and like it's a unique experience that I haven't had with other albums really. It just feels like almost one big long song, and they're all like legitimately pretty much equal in how much I enjoy them. I'd say this is a 90 out of 100. Like I feel like all the songs are pretty much the same quality just because they've all been close to being the same song almost. It's definitely not a criticism. Like they're all great and they aren't exactly the same. Of course they are different. There will be ones when I listen to them all more and more that'll stand out more than the others. I don't know which ones those will be yet though, because they all kind of give the same first impression. So yeah, let's get into the next one to see what that has for us. Okay, Ribbon featuring Sumin and Jibin. I don't know who either of those people are. It's interesting having a featuring artist. I wonder if there'll be like rapping in this one. Look like they could be rappers. And this picture, she's putting on her hand, but it's in green for some reason. This one definitely feels like it has a bit more hip-hop to it than the others have. Yeah, okay, this one is different, definitely. The others like had no hip-hop whatsoever. This one definitely does. Like a strong part of it is hip-hop, it feels like. It's an interesting feature though. It's not like she's getting bars to herself. She's doing interesting ad-libs. Gotta have something to be able to get it down. this one is probably my favorite so far. I don't know. Might just be because I'm liking having something different. But no, this definitely feels like my type of song even more than the other. Definitely, you know, fitting the vibe of the album, but just adding the hip hoppiness is exactly what I wanted. Yes, that one's definitely my favorite so far. I have to give that like 93 just immediately. I wonder if I'll ever give something like a 95 or above, just because like I feel weird giving something a 10 out of 10 immediately, just because like I don't know how it's going to change my mind. But this is like from the start, I'm like, this is absolutely incredible. I could see this being one of my favorite songs of the year, like combining the vibe of the album, which is like exactly my style overall, but just adding the really cool hip-hop elements to it as well, just making it more dynamic and like diverse throughout its sound while keeping this vibe. Just makes it more fulfilling and complex. Just, yes, everything I want in a song is this. I love it. Yes, interesting to have featuring artists on a song like this where it's like they don't have like parts that you would expect to have in a song, really. Like this whole album like feels like an Eve album too. Like I compared it to BB, it feels like Eve too. Like there's a lot of focus on the vibes more than like the actual singers, you know, singing or rapping. It's like so much on the whole song itself and not like using it as a showcase for the idols' capabilities as much. This one makes it interesting having even featuring artists doing stuff like that too. Their parts are almost like instruments to the whole feeling of the song, more than like in most songs where artists feature on it, they have a part where like they get to stand out and do a rap verse for themselves to make them stand out. But this, like all three of them come together to make a whole song where they're like all mixed together. It's not like separate parts. So yeah, that's my favorite one so far, definitely. Let's get into the rest to see if any of them can beat this one. This one is Downpour featuring Glico, Kai of Glico. This one is less than 2 minutes. I prefer songs to be longer than that, of course, so I expect this one to have an extra special artistic flair to it to make up for that, because like the only songs that are super short where I can kind of give them a pass are ones like was Moto Speed 24 by BB, where it's like it's so artistic and just awesome. It feels like it's just a cool addition to an album. It's not like trying to stand alone as its own song. It's trying to contribute to the full album by not like excluding itself by standing alone too much. So that's what I'm hoping for from this. I'm interested to see more of Glico because they're cool in Avocado. I'm definitely being given what I asked for. I feel like definitely like add something to the vibe of the first few. Like I feel like the first 3 songs in this album all felt really kind of similar in just the full dreaminess. Well, Shoot had the kind of extra title track twist to it, but the other 2 like definitely felt like the same type of vibe. But this one, the shorter one, definitely feels like it's adding a different spin on it a little. the end there, it's like the whooshing sound, but it was like going back and forth between my headphones. Yeah, that was exactly what I said. I felt like a great addition just to make the whole album feel a bit more filled out and complete, and just expand on the vibe just a little bit without feeling too separate, like where most albums it's like this is a song and this is a song and this is a song, and maybe they all have similar vibes, but it's like they're their own songs. But this one definitely felt like an addition to the album just to make it feel more complete. So again, hard to rate it as I would a normal song, but like just at the most basic, how it sounds and I guess what it does for the album. Again, I have to give it like a 90. Definitely not a 90 in the same way I would give other songs, just because, you know, I expect other songs to be longer and I wouldn't like listen to this on its own as much as other 90 rated songs, but definitely a great one. Interesting how the feature in this one is like he was kind of just singing all the same lines as her, just like in the background, like another interesting way of incorporating a feature for a song. I've heard that the members of Glico are like credited on all these songs in the album, so it feels like, you know, kind of all their artistic expression coming together. So I suppose that makes it easier for like a feature to not stick out as much and not have like their own part, because they're kind of just adding to it to complete the vision of the album more, because he was part of the creative process for this whole album. So yeah, next one, another short one. Got BF. This one's the shortest of all of them. Wonder if BF stands for boyfriend or something else. What instrument is that? Dun, 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 dun. Whatever it is, it's really nice. This one, man, is this recency bias, or is this one even better vibes? I feel like the vocals are extra nice in this one. I wish I knew instruments better so I could recognize what that is, because that definitely adds a lot to this song. Yeah, this one's special. Okay. It's not, you know, with it being extra short, once again, like I said with the last one, it's not going to be, I'm not going to think of it the same way as a regular song, but that one, just for purely how it sounded and not taking into account the fact that it's not like a full, complete, standalone song. Like that one, I feel like had my favorite sounds of any of them. Like I fully was entranced in the vibes of that. Like I could imagine it in the soundtrack for like a video game like Yume Nikki or some sort of really dreamy game like that. Like I love hearing that in the background of something that would make the atmosphere of a setting like that just so nice. Just the instruments in that were amazing. There's really no higher compliment I can give than it reminding me of a soundtrack for a video game, because I feel like a lot of soundtracks for video games are like the best music ever made, honestly. I was just saying, I don't know if I'll ever give something like a 95 or above just from initial rating, but this, I feel like with it being, you know, so short and not like a full song, like I feel like I can be more comfortable giving it like 98, just because just the sounds were absolutely incredible the whole way through, and I'm not looking for it to be a full put together package in the same way, because it's like, it feels like this album kind of is more of a soundtrack than like a collection of songs. And it's like, this just feels like the highlight song in a soundtrack, which just I could listen to it anytime and just feel completely in awe of the like world the song is taking me to. So yeah, I love that so much. 98. This one's 그림자놀이 or Shadow Puppets. Back to a almost, full song length now. It's kind of the average song length for most K-pop songs nowadays. If it was a few years ago, I would have said it's still like intro territory, but hey, standards have been lowered now. Yeah, I'm back to having a little higher standards just because thinking of it more as a full song. Just love how much bass is in all these songs. Like, usually bass is used for like big impact, and with this, like, almost makes the softness and sereneness have more of an impact while still being just as calming. Like that line where it's like, doesn't actually say that they're holding hands, but it's just my right hand, your left hand. It's just kind of naturally envision them together. Sounds in the background. Yeah, the more I listen to this album, the more I'm realizing that it's even more comparable to Eve's discography than BB's. This doesn't have as much of like an electronic element. Like there's not like the auto-tune and stuff that Eve has in her songs. Like it's a bit more natural and like dreamy. Like Eve's songs are very dreamy too, but this feels like a more, Wonderland type world that you're being taken to and not like a techno world. Yeah, the song, even with it being closer to a full length, song length, it still kind of makes me think of it as an intro just because it's so focused on the instrumental in the same way an intro would. This is really keeping up the tradition I've been having with the Twice albums that I've been listening to, where it's like I keep starting it off thinking like, wow, all these songs have a kind of similar vibe to them. I'm wondering like how they're gonna keep doing that through the whole album, and I'm like every time I'm like get to the end I'm like, yeah, no, they kept it up the whole way through. This one still had the one, which one was it, Ribbon, that definitely shook things up a bit, but like even that kept the like dreamy vibe to it. Yeah, and all these albums, like they've been keeping a very low-key atmosphere the whole way through, and like the same type of atmosphere, but still having each song be distinct enough and interesting. Again, I feel like every time I finish one of these songs, they like blend together into one like mega song in my head, just combining all the different dreamy elements of all of them. So it's very hard to rate all of these individually again, but probably solid 92 for this. Like all of them feel like they're at least like in the 90 range, 90 something. Like they're all just fully artsy and just my style enough that like they have to be at least 9 out of 10. It's like definitely gonna take more listens to be able to like fully distinguish them in my mind and form opinions on them individually and kind of connect them or disconnect them from the full album feel that this has. But I'm enjoying experiencing them as one solid vision for now. But now this experience must come to an end with the final song, 내 기타, or My Guitar. See how they chose to end this very cohesive album. Immediately feels different because guitars like makes you think of a real person playing a real instrument. Like the other stuff has felt very dreamy and like otherworldly. This feels more grounded. Feels like waking up from the dream, keeping the softness definitely. This one, the vocals are shining way more. This is good. I don't want to talk over any of this. This feels like the type of song that would be boring. Like, I love dreaminess, and this one has less of it. But like this one is really, really special. This is the most comforting song I've ever heard in my life. This one, more than any other, I really wanted it to be longer. That was not at all what I was expecting for the last song, but this is absolutely way better than any song I ever would have imagined for the last song in this album. It fully felt like every song in this was you in a dream world, and this was like you waking up from that dream world, which like I loved, and there's nothing I love more than dreams and dream worlds like that. This felt like waking you up from it, but still like comforting you and knowing like you can still feel that kind of peace and serenity even after the dream is over. Like the real world can be just as beautiful and comforting and touching as the dreams. That's just immediately what I felt from this. Like I don't know if other people have the same thoughts as me there, but I was overwhelmed with that feeling while listening to this whole thing. I legitimately can't think of a more comforting song I've ever heard. Like I was fully expecting the last song of this to be kind of the same thing. Like maybe they'd add a little switch up just because this is the last song to make it more interesting, but I was not expecting this at all. Like this felt like it was a switch up in a way that I didn't know I wanted. Like I wanted more of the dream world. Like that's the type of person I am. I'm obsessed with dreaming and imagining different worlds than the real world, just because the real world can be boring sometimes, and I just love escaping into fantasies. But this felt like it made me like the real world more. If only I could pronounce it. That's something very special, to bridge the gap between something I'm immersing myself in this fantasy and just kind of bringing me back and being like, these feelings that you're having that you like to imagine yourself in, like you can feel this with the stuff around you too, like with the just real guitar with a real person playing it. Like it doesn't have to be magic, like it can just be, this is what people do. People can be comforting and make you feel the same way. Not just the guitar, but like her vocals sounded like so authentic. Like it felt real. It felt like someone singing a song directly in front of me, because like you'd hear almost like, I don't know how to describe it, like cracks in your voice that just, it's like how real voices sound. Like not like voice cracks, like mistakes, but like I don't know how they did it, but it just sounded like what real people sound like when they're singing without any filter, like not even through a mic, like just face to face. Felt so natural, authentic, real. Like sitting around a campfire and hearing someone sing, which ordinarily doesn't sound like something I would be interested in, but this like fully made that sound like a great thing. Like I feel like I would appreciate that more when thinking of this song. Yeah, initial rating for this, and you know, my standards are higher for longer songs, which this still is a very short song by my standards, but like my standards are a little bit higher when it's closer to being a full song, but this did not remotely disappoint. I would give this an initial rating of 94, I think. Just like, again, it can't get as high as whatever that really short one was that I gave 98, but like this felt just as good to listen to. And it's only just because it feels like more like a full song that I don't initially give it as high as a rating, because it doesn't feel like just a little snippet of a song that I'm judging as that. I'm judging it more as a complete production, and like there's nothing about it that disappointed me. And again, most songs that I listen to, my initial ratings are less than what I give them the more I listen to them. So this is, you know, a preemptive 94, where it's very, very likely it grows, and I just don't want to give it higher than that yet. Yeah, I really cannot be more pleased with that album. I think it was amazing. I've heard very few things like that, pretty much just from Eve and BB in K-pop. I've heard albums that are so artistic like that. It's always soloists that do that, which, you know, makes sense, because this is her vision. Like she wrote all the songs, at least partially. Like she is having the ideas for this. That is something that you don't get much in K-pop, and I think it's something that turns off a lot of people from K-pop, which like I don't need it at all in my music for it to be like one person's vision for a whole album. But when you do get something like this, it's incredible, and I would love to see more stuff like this in K-pop, definitely, along with the, you know, pop produced stuff that's made to get popular, because I love that too. But I love art and artistic visions that are so concrete like this. Yeah, CHAEYOUNG being my bias originally when I was a fan of Twice, you know, just from seeing her artistic vision in this, I feel like very strong chance that she will still be my bias even after getting to know them all again, seeing how they've changed and how my, you know, preferences and what people I like has changed. I feel like just with her artisticness that I fully vibe with, it's very likely that she will be my bias again. Yeah, this was amazing. Thank you for watching this, and definitely check out my other Twice reactions, other Twice album reactions. I will be continuing to do quite a few of them in the future to, you know, the other solo Twice members' albums, to see what their kind of unique vibe is, along with all of their full group albums from Eyes Wide Open to now, other than the Japanese ones because of copyright. But yeah, make sure to check those out, and like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.